Have you ever built something with all your heart only to watch it wobble and collapse? Framework changes everything you do. I have a framework called L.E.A.R.N. But before I tell you this framework and how it completely changed your growth journey and career, let me quickly tell you what a framework is. You might hear that word a lot, but what does it really mean? Well, think of a framework like a guide or a plan, something that helps you organize your thoughts or take action step by step. It's kind of like having instruction that show you what to do and how to do it. So you're not just guessing along the way. Let me give you an example. Let's say you want to build a birdhouse. Without a plan, you might grab a hammer, few nails, some wood, and just start building. But then you realize you don't know what size to cut the pieces or where the roof should go. And suddenly, things just fitting together. Now, if you had a framework, a step-by-step plan, it would tell you what tools you need, where to start, and what order to follow. That way, you're not just building randomly, you build it right. That's exactly what the L.E.A.R.N framework is. It's not magic, it's not complicated. It's just a solid structure that helps you build your personal development and career success. So, if you're ready to grow faster with more clarity and confidence, you are in the right place. Let me start. So, what does L.E.A.R.N framework stand for? L stands for lead with value. It's about leadership with value. But you might say, I'm not a leader yet, maybe because you're not a manager or have a team. But I tell you, you are a leader and you don't need to have a team to be a leader. Let me explain. Leadership is not about having a title, it's about making an impact. Many people think leadership starts with you become a manager, a boss, or get a big title. But that's not true. Leadership starts with you. It starts with the moment you know what matters to you, what you believe in, what you're good at, and what kind of person you want to be. That's what I call leading with value. It means live your truth, use your strengths, help others. And here is a powerful story. You might have heard or read about Mahatma Gandhi. He didn't have a title like a president or a prime minister. He never led with force, but he led a whole nation. When India was ruled, Gandhi didn't fight with weapons. He fought with peace. He believed in truth, non-violence, and justice. That was his leadership. Those were his values. In 1930, he worked 240 miles with thousands of people to the sea to make salt because the British made a law that only they could sell salt. Gandhi said, no, this is not fair. And he led people to stand up peacefully against injustice. He didn't want power. He wanted to serve. And that's real leadership. Not pushing others down, but lifting people up. Not chasing status, but living your values. You don't need a title to lead. You lead every time you help someone. Every time you choose honesty over shortcuts. Every time you speak up what's right. When you live with integrity. When you are kind. When you take responsibility. You're already leading. So ask yourself, what do you stand for? How can you add value to someone else? Because that's how real leadership are made. Gandhi said, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. And I say it, be the role model you never saw growing up. That's how real change begins. It starts with your values. It starts with how you live. It starts with you. And E in the L.E.A.R.N framework stands for embrace growth. Let me tell you a story. Every morning, I go for a walk with my dog through a quiet forest. Beautiful and quiet place to be with yourself, away from civilization. One spring morning, I noticed something small, a caterpillar crawling on a leaf. It made me think about how growth works, not just for caterpillars, but for us too. The caterpillar starts life doing one thing, eating and growing. It doesn't know what's coming, but deep inside, it's getting ready for something big. One day, it finds a safe spot and wraps itself into a cocoon. And inside that cocoon, everything changes, but not in a peaceful way. That caterpillar breaks down completely. It turns into mush. It's confusing, painful, and dark. It doesn't know what's happening or if it will make it, but it keeps going. And after some time, it starts to push and fight its way out. It struggles, but finally, it breaks free. And it's no longer a caterpillar. It's a butterfly with a beautiful wings ready to fly. That butterfly taught me something important. Growth is not always easy. Growth means change, and change means discomfort. Sometimes in life, when we do something, we feel discomfort. We're stuck, confused, maybe even broken inside. But that's part of the process. That's when becoming something greater. Embracing growth means you're willing to learn, even when it's hard. It means trying new things, taking risks, and not giving up when it gets uncomfortable. Whether you're starting a new job, trying to speak up more, or learning a new skill, growth comes when you step outside of your comfort zone. It's okay to fail. It's okay to feel nervous. What matters is that you're keeping going. Every challenge is a chance to become stronger. Every setback is a setup for your next step. When you embrace growth, you become more flexible, more resilient, and more powerful. Like that butterfly, your strength comes after the struggle, not before. So, a question to ask is, where are you being stretched? Don't run away from the process. Lean into it. You're not falling apart. You're transforming. This is what E in the L.E.A.R.N framework stands for. Embrace growth. A in the L.E.A.R.N framework stands for act with ownership. Let me take you back to the beginning. I arrived in Europe with nothing but hope in my hands. The war between Eritrea and Ethiopia in 2000s had destroyed a lot and killed hundreds of thousands of people. But in my heart, I believed that crossing borders would bring peace, opportunity, a new start. But Europe did not welcome me. It was cold, it was quiet, and I felt invisible. It was stuck with no job, no school, no money. I lived on social assistance, just enough for bread and a place to sleep. It wasn't just the snow outside that made me cold. It was the hopelessness inside. I felt like life had locked me in a room and thrown away the key. But this deep inside, there was one thing still alive, a tiny flame, a voice that said, there must be more. Everyone told me it was impossible, except one person, my mentor. She said, keep reading, keep learning, keep moving. Things will change. And then I heard a quote by Oprah. She said, I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. It hit me like lightning. I didn't know how or when or even if, but I made a decision. I'll take ownership of my life. I will try. So I started searching for a way to study and to learn. Swiss universities told me tuition was between 30 to 40,000. I made 4,800 a year. It was impossible. But I didn't stop. I kept looking. Then I found the Open University. They offered support. They gave me a way to pay monthly. I signed up part-time. It would take me 8 years to finish, what usually takes 4 years. It's embarrassing to say it took me 8 years to finish my bachelor's, which usually takes 3 to 4 years. I was broke that I did not afford to pay, and the system did not allow me to have student loan. But I'm glad now that I did it. From my small income, I paid 3,600 for school, and it left me about 100. Some days I ate once, some days not at all. But I had a purpose now, and that gave me strength. Then came week 2. My tutor called. She said, your English is too poor. You won't make it. She was right. I couldn't understand anything. And in week 3, the university director called. She said, Teddy, if you resign now, we will refund your money. But if you stay and fail next week, you lose everything. I was shaking. But inside me, that quiet voice said no. So I decided to stay. Knowing my decision, my tutor called me and gave me 2 ways to improve that helped me to succeed. But I studied 9 hours a day, every day, in the library, in the cafes, on the bus, anywhere I could read or listen or learn. Fast forward, months passed. One day my tutor called me again. But this time she said, Teddy, you've improved a lot. I don't know what you're doing, but keep going. You're going to make it. I couldn't stop crying, not because I was weak, but because I was seen, because I was finally climbing out of that dark place. And I kept climbing. 8 years later, I finally earned my degree, but I gained more than a paper. I gained belief, I gained strength, and I gained power because I choose to act with ownership. Here is the truth. Ownership doesn't mean having all the answer. It means making a decision that says, I won't wait to be rescued. I will move forward anyway. And ownership has 3 parts. First is intention. Don't live by accident. Live on purpose. The second one is accountability. No more blaming others. Own your results, good or bad. And the third one is initiative. Don't wait to be told. Take action. Be the first to step forward. Whether you're trying to start a business, go back to school, or change your life, you are the captain. You are the driver. And it starts with taking full responsibility. Don't wait for perfect condition. Don't wait for someone to open the door. Kick the door down with faith, with learning, and with courage. Remember, the sun rises for everyone, but only those who rise with it feels its light. Act with ownership. Take your power back. You were born to rise. And R in the L.E.A.R.N framework stands for rise with resilience. Have you ever felt buried, like life pushed you down so deep you couldn't breathe or see the light? Mustard is a very small seed. It's tiny. It looks like nothing. And it gets buried in a dark and cold soil. But inside that small seed, there is life. There is potential. There is resilience. Even when the ground is heavy, even when it's cold and dark there, that seed doesn't give up to grow. It slowly pushes through the soil, bit by bit and day by day. Even though it can't see the sunlight, it believes it's up there. That's what it means, rise with resilience. As it grows, the little sprout faces new problems. Winds blow hard, animals step on it, and sometimes there is no water. It would be easier to stop, but it keeps going. And as it survives each day hard seasons, it becomes stronger. Its roots go deeper, its stems go thicker, and over time, that teeny seed becomes a strong tree. But that story doesn't stop there. That tree begins to produce fruit. Inside that fruit are new seeds, and those seeds fall and begin the same process. Get buried, pressed down, and tested. But if they rise with resilience, they grow too. And soon, what was one seed becomes a tree. And what was a tree becomes the whole forest. Resilience doesn't just help you survive, it helps you multiply. Your story, your pain, your healing, your growth can inspire others too. They can inspire to rise. Let me tell you something from my heart. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel pain. It doesn't mean you won't fall. It means you don't stay down. It's the quiet voice inside that says, I will rise regardless. I'm not done yet. I'll keep back. The most successful people you know, they know the ones who never failed. They are the ones who refuse to quit. Think of resilience like a muscle. The more challenge you face and push through, the stronger you become. You don't grow in comfort. You grow in pressure. You grow when life says no and you say, I'm not finished yet. And just like a tree needs deep roots to survive the storm, you need deep roots too. Roots like faith, purpose, discipline, courage. These are the things that hold you steady when life gets hard. Let me leave you with this picture. Two houses, one is built on sand and one is built on rock. When the rain comes, when the storm hits, which house will still stay standing? Not the one that looks good on the outside, but the one built on the strong foundation. You are the house. Resilience is your foundation. If you build your life on truth, faith, and purpose, you rise again and again. No matter the storm, believe and say this is yourself. I will rise. I may fall, but I will rise. I may cry, but I will grow. I'm not finished. I'm resilient. R stands for rise with resilience. You have already survived things that once felt impossible. You're stronger than you know. Let every trial shape you, not break you. Let every failure become your teacher and keep rising. Because one day, your story will be the seed that helps someone else grow. N in the L.E.A.R.N framework stands for navigate. Navigate with purpose. Let me tell you a story. There was once a man who lived near the foot of a mountain. He saved money for years and finally bought a beautiful and fast boat. He loved it. He cleaned it every day. He dreamed about sailing far away with it. But there was one problem. He lived far away from the ocean. The boat just sat there on dry land. It didn't move. It didn't take him anywhere. And after a while, he got frustrated. He thought, why am I stuck? One day, a wise old man passed by. He looked at the boat and said, the boat isn't broken. You're just trying to use it in the wrong place. Boats are made for water, not for mountains. You don't have a boat problem, you have a direction problem. The boat wasn't the issue. He had the right tool. but he was in the wrong place. That story is like many people. Sometimes people try to chase success, money, or jobs that look good. But deep down, they still feel stuck. They feel tired. They feel like something is missing. Not because they are lazy, not because they're not smart. They are smart, but because they are not moving in the direction of their purpose. Purpose is like your inner compass. It tells you where to go and how to go there. When you know your purpose, you stop feeling lost. You stop trying to be like everyone else. And you start moving in a way that fits right for you. Let me ask you, have you ever worked hard, earned money, achieved something, but still felt empty? That's what happens when we chase success without purpose. But when you follow your purpose and let many follow your impact, you find your real joy. You feel free, you feel alive and on track. Think of it like this: a car is made to drive on roads, a plane is made to fly in the air, right? If you try to fly a car or drive a plane on the road, it just doesn't work well. The same is true for you. You were designed for something specific. You were made with reason in mind. If you try to live outside of that reason, you might survive, but you won't thrive. So here is the real question: are you building your life and career around your purpose? Or are you just chasing what looks good to others? Your purpose will give you energy when you feel tired. It will guide you when life feels confusing. It will keep you focused when things get hard. Navigate with purpose doesn't mean you have all the answers, though. It just means you stop drifting. You start asking better questions like, uh, is this the right path for me? Will this help me grow into who I'm meant to become? Am I doing this for impact or just for approval? When your direction matches your design, you don't just move, you thaw. So, as you grow in your career or business, don't just chase busy work. Chase meaning, chase freedom, chase the life you were created to live. Let your purpose lead you, and trust me, everything else will follow. That's what it means to navigate with purpose. So let me summarize the framework for you in short and what L.E.A.R.N stands for. Each letter represents a mindset shift that can change your career and your life. L stands for lead with value. Leadership is not about titles. It starts with knowing who you are, what matters to you, and how you show up to serve others. When you lead from your value, people trust you to follow you. People trust you and follow your example. E stands for impress growth. Growth doesn't come from comfort. It comes from learning, stretching, and stepping into the unknown. Every challenge is not a block. It's a chance to rise higher. A stands act with ownership. No one is coming to save you. Ownership means taking full responsibility of your future. Don't wait, decide, commit, and take the next step. This is how progress begins. And R stands with rise with resilience. You will face setbacks, but resilience means you don't give up. You rise again, stronger, wiser, and more prepared than before. Lastly, N represents navigate with purpose. Without purpose, even the best tools won't get you far. When you align your work with your why and you move with confidence and clarity, purpose is your compass. Let it guide you. Now here is the truth. You don't need perfect paths. You don't need a perfect plan. You just need to decide to learn, to grow, to lead with purpose. Because when you live with intention, anything is possible. I hope this message helped you. Be blessed and see you on the next video.